7 hats on. And let's go.
All right. In the upper right, representing Team Liquid, it's Cure.
And in the bottom left, it's our guy Twisted herO.
Okay, so herO had to get here by winning a PvT matchup. He took down Byun 3-2, whereas Cure took down Shin 3-1 in a TVZ.
Yeah, impressive stuff there, too. There were a couple times Shin looked incredibly dominant in that series, but, you know, stop making Widow Mines. Some roaches showed up instead of Hydras and Banelings, and it went very well for Cure after that. So, good game for sure. Cure didn't have to fight quite as hard to get here, but he also didn't get much of a break between his series and this series. So, I think it's pretty even as far as who's maybe the most rested for this one.
That's definitely true. And yeah, the thing I'm wondering about the most in this best of 7 is like in TVZ, Terran can go 3CC, Hellion, Banshee opening every single game for the most part.
Yeah.
And it works for Cure. I don't know if there's a strategy that he can be that confident with against herO.
Yeah, not in PvT. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything we can do? I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it for sure. Joel Mang's here rooting for his guy herO.
Very interesting battery placement by herO.
Yeah, way out in front. It's like he's worried about Hellions or something.
Yeah, that battery placement is almost like, I don't know, I guess it could be part of the wall, but then also used to allow him to really poke out to try and intercept like an early push of Cure or something. But then also still be safe with the battery. I don't know.
Yeah.
Single Hellion for Cure gets started up. Starport behind it with the racks having that reactor done. So a couple Marines on the way. The Reaper does see the Twilight Council and tosses a grenade to save its bacon and gets on out of there.
Sick move. That's cool. Don't see it used that way very often. herO, on the other hand, can pretty much just blink his way. Nice hallucinated Phoenix in for the scout. See what Cure's up to. Gonna see the Widow Mine drop on the way. I mean, look, you're gonna open up a PvT series with a Widow Mine drop pretty much 90% of the time. Might as well just get it off. See if you can get stuff done with it.
Yeah, single Hellion does run in for herO. I really like this single Hellion thing that Terrans have been doing quite a bit lately. And he does get a probe, but then does perish. Yeah. Pardon me, 2 probes.
Man, if only there had been a hard wall, those probes would be alive.
Huh. Oh, the Reaper must have killed the probe going out to the 3rd or something. Because that Hellion only killed 1. Oh, he grenades! Ah, he doesn't get out.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Cure sowed a little bit of chaos in this game. Now he's going to try and follow it up with that Widow Mine drop and the 2 Medivacs. Or, pardon me, the 2 mines in the Medivac. Great probe placement by herO, though, is able to see that incoming, so he should be repositioning, and there he goes with the Stalkers. They don't have Blink yet.
Yeah. You're not necessarily going to have Blink every time on a timing with this, but if you got enough Stalkers, you can really make the Terran think twice about moving into that main base.
Man, this is a weird map, like trees and lava.
Lava. Uh-huh. There's open fissures down into the core of the earth.
Blink is done. herO immediately fires up charge. So not rushing out Colossus or anything like that. Going to be playing a much gateway heavier style.
Yeah, so far, pretty quiet. A little Hellion run by is about the biggest engagement we've had so far.
Yeah, after we had that little bit of action, and then it's just been calm. The difference is Kier is just powering off of 2 bases, getting +1 attack. Combat Shield Stim. He has a very, very nice army supply lead presently because the Protoss doesn't have that gateway production online, but there we see 6 gateways going. herO has just got 3 gases at the minute, so we'll be able to warp in some Stalkers, maybe make an Immortal, and, well, there goes a Robo Bay on the way. But then also warp in a boatload of charge lots.
Yeah, pretty much what he did against Beyond here. It's going to be maybe going to be Colossus first.
Pardon me, I must have missed it there. It looks like the Raven must have auto-turreted an Observer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Observer in the unit's lost tab.
Widowmines getting dropped at the 3rd. That one just gets barely dodged by herO. Incredibly well done, minimizing the losses from that.
Yeah, now there's an OBS spying that medevac, so coming back in is going to be a lot harder. herO feels pretty comfortable moving out on the map with his Blink Stalkers. Immortals behind it, +1 attack finishing up at the same time that infantry weapons level 1
Oh man, this army from Kier is very, very formidable. herO throws up a few more pylons, so he's able to warp in a ton of units. He fires up a Colossus. Does catch a Widowmine of Kier and a Medivac as Kier is moving out towards that 3rd base of herO. He loses another mine, so that's a lot of anti-zealot power gone. Still, this is not going to be an easy cleanup by the Protoss. He almost gets another mine. Kier has got a few Medivacs with this. Also brings the other mines that he kept alive in with this push.
This is looking dicey from herO, man.
Yeah, this is so much Terran.
Micro as much as he can. Nice Zealot run
Oh,
by,
but look at this from Kier. A bunker and 2 Widowmines in order to help defend this. That is such a good call by the Terran.
Wow. Yeah, completely shuts that down like it's easy.
StarCraft
This
players.
is the kind of
Oh, man.
TVP where I'm like, boy, Protoss is struggling. That is a lot of army. 90 to 57 in total in army supply here in favor of Kier right now. Zealot's just desperately trying to get something done. There's nothing to do.
Widowmine's going
doesn't
off.
have a range. Siege Tank's getting hits off. Finally gets picked off by the Stalkers there.
Yeah, Kier has a 3rd base done, and he floats it over. Raven goes for some auto-turret harassment during that. The Protoss, meanwhile, is being kept on 3 bases past the 8.5-minute mark, which is the time that TOS would like to get a 4th base up. The Terran has a massive army supply lead after whittling down all those Zealots, and Kier is now moving out with some units to the north, kind of making this a 2-prong approach.
Yeah, I mean, multi-pronged attacks are the way to go in StarCraft more often than not.
Widowmine
herO,
sieging.
Yeah, surprisingly rebuffing this. I think Kier had a nice position and just kind of like, let's just fall back. Let's get our 3rd base up solidified. herO doesn't have a 4th yet, so it's a situation that we can continue on pretty much indefinitely here. But yeah, if that 4th base comes in and I don't have a 4th, and things get dicey.
Do you have to
Ghost Academy
mine
2.
out those minerals before you take this rich gas?
Kind of looks like it, doesn't it? I've
I
never
guess you
noticed
do.
that before. Yeah. Peppers, the fact that herO is still playing and Beyond is no longer seen means that herO won.
Yes, this is the finals. And we only have a few matches, so.
We don't have a losers round, so.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did one of those bigger, like 8-man tournaments. Maybe we'll have to get one of those going again sometime.
Could do.
Okay, Kier has been powering his army. He is getting 2/2 upgrades on the way, for now just with 1/1, and herO having +2 attack, so upgrades are mostly even. The Terran is slowing things down, getting up a 4th command center, ghosts, Vikings on the way. It really is incredible how Kier said, yeah, let's just slow this game down.
Yeah, he was knocking on the door. He had like a 70 supply lead in army and was like, come back later. And he's coming back later and he's humongous, which seems like a problem. Phoenix is looking for a nuke. John Solo's in the house. What's up, John Solo?
Hey, everyone viewing, make sure to click that like button.
Missile.
Yeah, nice armor missile. And now the Terran is denying all mining at this 4th base.
Another Zealot run-by attack. No Widow Mines this time. Just a couple Marines. Ah, EMPs, though. Oh, my gosh, Kier.
He will get the ghosts, it seems, so that makes it an okay trade for the Protoss.
Man, that's a lot of Zealots. I don't know.
Okay, it makes it not as bad of a trade, I guess.
Fair.
Looks like herO is trying to get the jump on Kier, but Kier has simply got so much bio here. He's got Ghost to drop EMPs. The only thing that the Terran has to respect in that fight is the Disruptors, which he does. herO's also trying to build a pylon behind the 4th base of Kier. The Terran has got 9 Vikings out, going up to 13, so Colossus will be in a lot of trouble. I do like the choice by Kier to build that many Vikings. Like, sometimes Terrans slack off on him, but he realizes, no, there's 4 Colossus that I've got to deal with. Disruptor gets taken out. Vikings are in pursuit on the Colossus. They almost kill one. They do get one, and a second, just pushing this army of herO away, as herO's army has just really melted. He's got a lot of supply on the other side of the map, going for a big Zealot counterattack.
Yeah, also inside the main base, killing Ghost. The base dies there from herO very quickly because the whole army's there dealing with it. EMP is getting tossed out again. Kier decides to jump onto this, then thinks better of it, falls back a little bit, says, okay, hold on, Guardian Shield is up. These Zealots are kind of ruining me a little bit, at least. The natural base is a total war zone.
herO apparently making the right decision to send like 20+ Zealots to Kier's side of the map while simultaneously defending the attack of Kier, as he really got some good damage done to the Terran. The Terran's army is still quite formidable in this situation, but that's a really great way to get the momentum. Wouldn't mind hit a Disruptor, it seems.
Let's see how the Disruptor shots are going to connect here. It's kind of a big deal. 112 to 106 army. herO's economy is much, much better, but we've seen this where Terrans and Mules can make nice recoveries, even losing a bunch of SCVs.
Yeah, herO's going to need good Disruptor shots. Kier does do some decent splits. There's one more Disruptor. It gets an okay connection amidst all that chaos as the Protoss tries to apply pressure on his opponent.
As always, want to point out, you don't one-shot Marauders with Disruptors anymore, thanks to the latest patch in StarCraft. Thank you, Balance, the Balance team, coming up with that one.
Yes, maybe not the best balance change, but definitely a good quality of life one for more casual players, anyway. All right, herO with another, what is that? Oh gosh, that's 18 Zealots. Ready to charge into Kier's natural. Kier had a nice defense set up in the early game, but herO was able to wear that down. Now the Terran is exposed for more repeat attacks. The Toss is now taking all the bases as herO is just expanding like he did in that game versus Bjorn.
He did a couple times. He won one and lost one doing this. Disruptor mainly used for zoning out, I think. Not really hoping to get any connections there, but maybe getting a refinery here because the Terran can't engage because of Disruptor shots. There you go. Refinery down and actually focusing on the planetary.
Oh, he's going for it.
Properly.
EMP's hitting the Disruptors, but a couple big connections do get off there, or at least one big connection.
Oh, that Disruptor makes it out with like 4 hit points. Lucky there from herO.
3 kills on that one. The other one must have died that got that connection. Somehow Kier is up on supply compared to herO, though. I guess herO just not spending all his money, investing in a ton of Nexus during this. Or did those zealots go in and I missed it?
Probably zealots. And speaking of, these guys taking out Marines, Marauders, SCVs. Nobody is safe from the power of the zealots. And really keeping herO on this side of the map while herO continues to grow on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bases for him.
Yep. Meanwhile, the Terran is just hanging out on 4 bases, 42 SCVs. Kier is rebuilding some of those. I guess he technically does have 5 bases with that extra orbital command, which is not insignificant. But look at that army. Because he's on so few SCVs, he's got a ginormous army supply. herO was going for a run-by with like 30 zealots. That gets rebuffed. The Protoss's economy, or like actual army quality, is just junk. Aside from these 6 disruptors, like there's nothing good going for the Protoss. Disruptor Nova does get tossed out. Kier has to split. He does a pretty good job of that. He's now looking to come in at a nice angle and grab this army. Novas are baited out, but the Bio's actually coming in at a really nice time to have missed those disruptors. Kier does pull back and doesn't take this any further. That's because there's 30 zealots going towards his 3rd base.
Attacking on in shield battery, no match for this disruptor shot. No, disruptor picked off. Beautifully
the
done. That one killed.
splits.
Ooh, I think that one got a ghost.
Yeah, I think it got at least a couple ghosts, which is quite nice.
Ice Jingo says he got DT blink, but I haven't seen any DTs.
There's your DTs, man.
Oh yeah, like 5 or 6 DTs take down that planetary with the help of their zealot buddies. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
And that may just be irrecoverable damage for the Terran. The 3rd was sacked. The Terran lost the planetary at the 4th. DTs are just running by the army. There's a scan by Kier to handle those while they actually do get out. Another scan, and then there's the Archon. Kier's got to be like, come on, man. The Terran, though, still maintains an army supply lead. EMP does hit some of the disruptors by a suicidal ghost. It's a very defensive position for the Protoss, though.
Taking out that Rich Vespine Geyser is nice because herO doesn't have much gas.
No, how many assimilators does he have this game? He's only got 6.
Better than the 4 he was rolling with in that previous one.
Well, 2 of them are mined out, so really he does just have 4. Okay, Zealots once again from herO. This is his plan, just wear the Terran down. Kier's on 22 SCVs, and that number is getting even lower now.
Dude, 22 SCVs. He was under 20 for a second, but he made a few.
Yeah, the Terran's production has really slowed to a crawl. This one Zealot is going to kill a lot more of Kier's economy, and I think herO has played this how he needed to, with just trading out so much, but then also dealing enough economic damage to the Terran.
Yeah, just poking and prodding and counterattacking, and Zealot run by here, and a DT attack on a planetary here, and everything's looking good.
Yeah, it's not been easy, but herO really has done a great job of it. A couple more trades, Kier will not be able to replace this army. Zealots are just being sent in en masse. He's now going for the 3rd command center, which very well may actually die. Disruptors are getting thrown out. Kier is not microing. That is going to be it as the Terran loses most of his army. GG.
Yeah, man. It was not easy for herO there. 19 minutes and 11 seconds on the GG, but he got it done. Again, just poking, prodding, attacking here, pulling back there, expanding a whole bunch, keeping Terran on his side of the map as much as you can, and that can turn into a win more often than not. So GG, herO takes game 1 of our best of 7 and looks pretty great doing it.
Yes. Okay.
Looks like we're waiting to see.
It will be Ultra Love from Kier.
All right. Haven't had that map today. It's a good one. It's a classic.
Yeah, one of the maps that made it over into this new pool. It was cool to see that Team Liquid was thinking of going for a more passive change up to the map pool, since it was their first change, but they actually went ahead and changed most of the maps, which is very cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Looks like players are about ready to go here. Yeah, that's a ready. That's a go. And let's move on in. A map by Tactical Fluke. The description of the map is simply "Welcome to the other side."
Interesting.
Not incredibly descriptive, but okay, I guess.
The other side of what?
The other side of the galaxy, obviously.
All right, it's a best of 7. In the bottom left, we have got Liquid Cure.
And in the top right, he's herO.
Yay.
And he's Protos's herO. Protoss fans everywhere.
Yeah, he really had to work for that last game, but he kind of made the corrections, I guess, that he needed in order to not let what happened against Byun happen again. Now, the map could have also played a part in that. Like, that other... I can't remember which... It was one of the new maps. That Byun played that game against herO seemed better for the defense than Leylines did.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows, if we do come up on that new map, maybe Kier could play that way. And have more
I'm okay with
success. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to support the players, all contributions of gems are forwarded to the prize pool for these players. So if you contribute gems to the channel, it increases the prize pool. SCV Scout for Kier.
Yeah, doing what he does. Very brave, but I don't know. At this stage of the game, not much can kill this guy. He knows it, too. Faster than his Zealot. Stalker's not out yet. Man, someone should do a study of, like, how many SCVs survive in an average game. And, like, the surviving SCVs show up in the next game.
That would be really cool.
Right after, like, 10 games, how many SCVs from the first game are still alive?
Yeah. I mean...
Right?
I guess it depends if you go on a win streak or a loss streak.
Right. Totally. I guess if it is averaged out everyone's ladder playstyle, which so ideally it'd be a 50-50 thing, right? You win 50%, you lose 50%.
That would be a cool thing though. Because like
I'm sure there's a statistical formula for that.
Oh, probably.
You just kind of half it. I guess it's a half-life, right?
Yeah.
It's a half for 10 games.
Half-lives after 10 cycles are usually pretty low.
Yeah.
It would be cool though if like you had some marker on your probes that they were from the last game or something like that.
Yeah.
It'd become like a point of pride of keeping one SCV alive. For 100 games or something, he grows a beard.
Yeah. He has like battle scarring on his SCV suit.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be very cool. Hellion tries to get in. No. A block with the force field. Beautiful. Not today, Hellion friend.
I took a sip of my water because I was like, oh, that Hellion's going to get out of there. Like, no.
Not even close.
Okay, Kier is erecting a nice little wall with his production. This is something you really have to keep an eye on in PvT. Because the wall and building placement really, really matters against Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, every Terran has to recognize what the main base looks like, where the blink up positions are, It's the same thing as Reaper hop-up spots, so it's not that hard to keep track of. But yeah, and just trying to wall those stalkers in as much as possible so when they blink in, they don't get a ton of stuff done. Because, yeah, we've seen games where the blink stalkers get in, they kind of shark around the edges of the map, they stutter step, they're very hard to pin down. They're shooting at SCVs the whole time. It's crazy annoying. So
Yeah.
if you can prevent that from happening at all, you're going to have a much better time of it when those guys finally show up.
Oh, yeah. And it's just like, it costs the Terran literally nothing to build their base in a smart layout. So there's no reason to not do it. But it's one of those things, like, if you go back and look at, like, pro play from, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, the base layouts against blink stalkers will be garbage compared to what they are now.
Yeah, they're just putting buildings wherever they want. Gosh darn it. It's chaos. It's like the AI. When the AI puts down buildings, they just put them wherever. There's no thought to it. I love using sentries to kill debris. It's one of my favorite things. It's just the slowest tickle. It's like worse than lings attacking it. Thankfully, there are a couple stalkers here.
Yeah.
Stalkers are doing damage.
Okay, hero's got blink. He's going into charge once again. So not prioritizing getting out Robo, getting out like a Robo Bay or anything like that. Immortal really
helps. Don't
helps.
see sentry attacks all that much.
No.
It's pretty rare for them to actually be attacking something. They're usually just there for spellcasting, but they've got the attack.
Yeah. I mean, they're good in PvP now. Marauders driving the stalkers back. This is allowing herO to roll up on herO quickly. However, herO is not wasting any time, but he does get repelled by a great anti-armor missile connecting with the middle of the Protoss army. herO, though, still being a little bit cautious, sets his tank up very far back, sets up his 2 Widow Mines because herO is getting ready to collapse on top of this. Widow Mine going to be baited out with the Prism, expertly done by herO.
Yep, doesn't do too much damage there.
And Kier needs to get his reinforcements over here because, like, herO he's gonna dive on this, and you need all your units here to possibly take an okay fight against this. Looks like herO is going for it. Kier is beginning to retreat with his bio. The Marines are at the back, which is very nice. We even have a hallucinated Colossus from herO, but he may have overcommitted a little bit too much in this. Auto turret gets dropped, putting down damage. There's the Prism. It does get sniped by Kier, though, realizing the great opportunity. Now it's just the 2 Immortals and the hallucinated Colossus. Those go down.
Yeah, those sentries, I was watching them closely there. They were attacking the Raven. They were both very specifically targeted on the Raven there. The question is, does herO have enough to hold? As Kier is up about 25 total supply here. Now closer to 35.
Yeah.
My goodness.
There's a big Zealot warp in to even up the supply, though. So Kier's actually going to fall back. Like, the game sense of these players in this day and age, like, is so darn good. The amount of Terrans that wouldn't have fallen back there and would have just been consumed by hero's Zealots is huge. Amazing target down on the Widow Mines by herO, though, preventing those mines from connecting with his Zealots. herO stays alive. He does just fire up his 4th base. He now has a Colossus just about to pop out. He's also got 1/1 upgrades on the way. They're a ways away, but he can potentially Chrono Boost those out, and he is. He's got lots of Chrono energy to use on that. Zealots coming in towards the 3rd herO, already warping in a ton. Widow Mines not burrowed are going to be targets, but they do end up getting pushed away.
Yeah, not a single Widow Mine died there. That was good control by our guy Kier. Extended Thermal Lance finishing up here shortly. Colossus, herO doing what he does. But
yeah.
Kier...
herO's got, like, perfect vision on this army, so he's going to get the jump on Kier, who's now got to kite back and fight against a Colossus and a ton of Zealots with his bio. The Marauders are standing strong. The 1/1 upgrades really helping out in this scenario. This would be a much worse fight for the Terran, but still, Kier is routed.
Yeah, that high ground helping immensely there, too. There were reinforcements coming in that ran definitely because partially they had to go up on the high ground.
GG. Kier has his army trapped and then taps on out.
Impressive. Impressive there. Yeah, I think if Cure just falls back normally, that game continues from there. But Hero was able to get the surround on both sides, wipe that army out, which is fantastic. And that's a GG. Hero takes the 2-0 lead in this best of 7. Again, not as disastrous as falling behind at 2-0 in a best of 5, or in a best of 3, because you'd be done by now. But in a best of 7, it still hurts, but there's still time. If Cure can win this next game, he can pretty much stage it to get himself back into this series without a doubt. Looks like Cure is asking to play on Torches now, a map that is new, but we've played on twice today already. Players seem to be pretty okay with it. At least it's not being actively vetoed by any of the players here today. All right, players loading into the lobby here. Torches.
I do hope we see Takamak again.
Yeah, Takamak was cool.
Or was it Takamak?
Yeah, I think so.
The one that Bien had that really long game on.
Mm-hmm. It's Takamak, yeah.
All right, there we go. Beeping into the next game, ladies and gentlemen.
Anticipation building, and let's see if Cure can do something different here. I mean, the Zealot stuff's causing problems. The positioning here, Hero's just got great vision on where everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. Ha! Aki says the SCV behind Falcon set is definitely the same one. That's not getting replaced.
All right, here we have Liquid Cure.
And then we've got Hero, you know, not sweeping anybody today, at least not yet, but still looking pretty good from a PvT perspective.
Yeah. I mean, like, Cure didn't look like neither of those past two games was a stomp, which gives me hope for Cure.
Yeah, definitely. He did a good job repelling some Zealot run-bys in that last game. Like, there's a lot of stuff he can build on and feel pretty good about this.
Yeah, Torches could very well be a map in which things slow down, as the third base seems like it's quite defensible for the Terran. Assuming they mine out that mineral wall.
Mm-hmm. Kind of speaks to how they want to play the game. Do they want to have engagement on the right side or not? We've seen both. We've seen both ways where nobody's been over there. And we've seen games that TVZ between Cure and Shin, that was definitely a lot of the engagement was over on that right side. So it depends on what the players are into here.
Hero mining out that mineral wall.
Yeah, so a decision is made. Hero wants to play over there. We'll see if Cure recognizes it and if he's going to do anything about it. There's the hallucinated Phoenix. There's the recharge. There's the thing that, you know, we were so worried about with this latest patch. Just the concept of getting a hallucinated Phoenix into the Terran base and seeing exactly their build at 3 minutes every game. And there's nothing the Terran player can do to stop it. You can keep Adepts out. You can keep Stalkers and Probes out. You can't keep a Phoenix out. And
It's
there it
true.
is. Yeah, sees everything. There's nothing else for the Phoenix to do, so it's just kind of like dinking around, but yeah, perfect picture of exactly what's happening everywhere on the Terran side of the map.
Upon the hallucinated Phoenix disappearing, Kier switches onto that tech lab with the starport, so he can fire up a Raven. Maybe he'll fake cloak with this Phoenix coming in. That would be curious to see. Will he do it? Show me fake cloak.
No, not at all.
No, I guess he didn't have the resources. Just wants to fire up his tank.
Mm-hmm. Single Hellion again, getting intercepted by Stalkers out there.
Oh, it may be able to get a few probes. If, no.
Just wants to die. Okay, I guess. Huh.
I mean,
Storm.
yeah, it did achieve its job in seeing the Templar archives.
Yeah. I'm just a bigger fan of Storm than Colossus or Disruptors in this matchup. I just feel like it's easier to get more guaranteed damage with it compared to the other two.
I mean, the timing of it is quite nice, too. Like, he's going to have that by 6 minutes. He's already energy recharged one High Templar, so then it'll be off cooldown as soon as possible. So he'll have at least a couple High Templar with lots of energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big fan. Yes, EMP is a problem, but EMP is not out at this point.
No.
So we get a few storms anyways. Yes, Ice Chingo going right into Storm. Big fan.
Yeah, that High Templar is just going to be full of energy.
Full. Yeah, full energy pool High Templar. Good times.
Yeah, 2 Psy Storms on that. Looks like the Raven comes in with a little bit of turret harassment. Does actually get 4 workers. That's quite nice, seeing as how the High Templar could have potentially feedbacked it, but they did not succeed. Kier is pushing on out. herO expanded towards the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock-ish position of the map. There's the High Templar being dropped. Oh, no.
Ooh. Yeah, so many injured Marines and Marauders in that group. Tank sieges up immediately. Widowmine burrows. He's like, jump scare. And then unsiege and runs back because his dudes are so injured. Medevac's getting drained to all our energy. Auto turret harass on the other side, though.
Throw it.
Feedback.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't quick enough. That was silly of Kier.
Yeah, just ran in, waited, got feedback, and then ran away. Brutal.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why he chose to move the Raven over instead of just queuing up the turret.
Mm-hmm. Miscontrol there for sure. We're going to try to swing a fairly big drop down the right side. We got tanks in there. We got Marines in there. Does the obs have vision on it? Coming down said right side. The answer is yeah. I think he's going to catch a glimpse of it. If they actually come down this way, though. Where'd they go? Oh, there's on the right side. Another storm. Another storm! Oh my gosh, that was... He just ate it!
Killed like 3 Marines. Softened up a bunch of units.
Kier's heading down the right side. Do the obs see it?
I don't think so. Because herO doesn't react, but he does have a full energy High Templar there. Double feedback goes down. No Psy Storm, actually. And then a recall. Widowmines are going to get set up in the mineral line, though. So those are going to be some big connections, and they do get 12 probes in all.
My goodness. A benefit of not having a lot of energy on your medevacs is that they can get feedbacked and stay alive. Nicely done. So 12 probes go down there. Ghost Academy is on the way. So Kier will have access to EMP here soon. It's a default ability these days. If you've got ghosts, they have the EMP.
A Colossus is on the way for herO. 2 Colossus at a time. He's also going to have 1-1 complete, so the upgrades will even up for both these players. Kier is just hanging out on 1 eBay. He's yet to build an armory as well, so he will be losing in upgrades likely as this game progresses, but EMP can definitely help make up for that.
Sneaking around those High Templar in that War Prism. If you EMP the High Templar and they're in a War Prism, they don't get EMP'd. That's why we have it.
Oh, there's a Psystorm drop. Mass amounts of Psystorm going down. 6 dead SCVs, a few dead Terran units. However, there is a Viking, and that will make herO pay as the Prism dies.
Yeah,
Full of High Templar.
4 High Templar, and yep, 4 High Templar in that thing, all dead now. Beautiful Viking snipe. More Vikings on the way. Pretty good. Zealot run-bys or Zealot run-bys, though. herO pretty effectively doing that. Auto turret, harass.
This Raven's still doing
harass.
work.
9 kills on him. Not bad. I'm happy with any Raven that I make that gets 9 kills.
Oh, yeah. Particularly when there's High Templar out. Kier is moving out on the map, looking to take a fight. After killing that Prism, he's got to be feeling that he's got a bit of a window, but herO is going to close that window with a bunch of Zealots. So Kier has to pull everything back. Whether that's the right decision, it probably is. However, he does need to deal with these Zealots still quicker. Like, come on.
There you go. Does send some forces over after 4 SCVs have died. These guys are hacking
Oh my
away
gosh,
at the
so much
Ghost
lost
Academy.
mining time. There's a Psystorm, double Psystorm going down on the Terran army.
So bruised, so much yellow, so much orange on there.
Oh, Terrans.
Oh, Marines just falling by the dozens to these Zealots. In fairness, they're warriors with Psy blades. It's not like they're, you know, tickling you to death, but woo.
Yeah, no, that just hurts for Kier because he pulled back, but then he also didn't deal with the Zealots very effectively. If we look at the income graph, there is a crater where herO has a massive advantage. We've got Marines having to dodge a Psystorm once again. Not too many units die, but many are softened up. EMPs are going to be needed. There's another Psystorm going down. herO's storms have just been finding amazing connections.
I'm surprised he's not going for that mineral line. There are SCVs and Marines sitting in there.
EMPs do go down. However, there's going to be more Psystorm as herO just has plenty of High Templar.
Yeah, I mean, the blanket storms are just beautiful here. herO doing what he did against Beyond.
Yeah.
Keeping Kier on 3 bases, expanding to 5 bases. He'll probably get a 6th one here soon.
Oh, I love this from herO.
Me too. Psystorm is underused.
Yeah, he's doing everything right, though. He's getting 2 Colossus, so if Kier lacks on Viking production, he'll punish him. He's got Disruptors, so he will have AoE even if he somehow gets all his High Templar EMP'd. Then he's still got High Templar, and he's also adding on 7 Gateways to have an incredible Remax potential. EMP goes down for Kier. It does miss. There's a Psystorm, double Disruptors going down. The Terran is out of position to deal with this army right now. Kier is just floundering in the face of herO.
Yeah, Archon's kind of soloing a bunch of stuff right here. They're going to explode and pop like balloons as they do. herO falls back a little bit, but he's got 82 probes to 52 SCVs. Army value big. 5 bases. Colossus are here to wipe out the Widow Mines.
Okay, an EMP hits.
And High Templar wandering in.
Oh, they do drop
Getting
so
some
much
beautiful storms
Psystorm.
off, and morphing into an Archon. And speaking
Oh,
of
man.
Archon,
It never got dealt with. Like, Kier just crumbles. What a massacre.
herO, yeah, doing what herO does. He had a plan. He incorporated Fast Storm this time, and boy, did it work out for him. That was fantastically done.
Yeah.
Just love to see that blanket storm.
So Kier will have to pick the next map, and
Yeah, it's a 3-0 here, unfortunately.
that game was like the inverse of previous matches because herO did not take a bad fight in that game. Like, they were all just, he was just winning across the board, except losing that Prism, I guess, but
That's true. That was a problem, but he got the storms off anyway.
yeah,
so
he
it's not
made
like
more High
lost them.
Templar and he was fine.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on 5 bases to 3 bases for your Terran opponent, and you've got twice the probe count there, you're probably going to be all right. So we're back on Persephone here for map number 4. We'll see
Yeah.
if Cure has the start of an epic reverse sweep here.
It has happened.
Possible. It's happened here on this channel. Well, maybe the old one, but it was
No,
us.
I think it has definitely. It's like we've had some really close
happened on
finals
Zip Live?
lately. I think so. We've done. This is event number 19. There's got to have been a reverse sweep.
In the best of 7, though, maybe in a best of 5.
I know we've had like a lot of 4-2s. Yeah, last event, Classic won 4 games in a row against Rogue.
Holy smokes! Did I erase that from my memory? I'm
Apparently
just like, that
so.
never happened.
But like, yeah, we've had incredible finals lately. In that, like, we've had some players go up like 2-0, 3-0 in best of 7s, but then players have come back to fight, and they might not have won, but they've still put points on the board, which is good.
It is good. Impressive.
All right, we'll see if Kier can do that. And there he is.
herO, feeling confident, feeling strong, honoring SOS probably.
I think it's SOS.
SOS SC2.
Yeah, it's sad we haven't got EWC Clem portrait yet. From Clem winning that.
How on earth? We totally should have one.
If I'm ever in California, I'm actually gonna go out and protest in front of Blizzard HQ. I'll be that
Clem
one crazy guy with a
now.
sign.
Clem portrait.
Clem portrait now.
So Shingo says there's a spot you can barely blink into the main.
Yeah, I was reading that. I guess
Far
from,
left.
like there to
above.
there, maybe?
Yeah, that's what he says right there. Okay. I wonder if Cure knows. I wonder if herO knows.
I don't know. Okay, Reaper. Jet packing around.
As he does. Death from above. Oh, basically, Shingo says it's really inconsistent to use that blink spot. Like, sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm not sure how often Protoss would want to use that, but maybe. Maybe a surprise could be executed.
If the Terran's not ready for it, like, amazing.
Reaper goes on in, goes on out after seeing the Twilight Council. herO has opened Blink every game today so far, I believe. Yeah, there hasn't been a single Oracle.
No, it's just Blink. I don't see why not.
Hellion at the third, Reaper at the other potential third. Probe is being escorted by herO. He's not letting that one slide.
Okie doke. Let's see. Nobody's gotten a really good one of these off on herO today, and it's been tried a few times. Sneak, sneak, sneak.
Yeah.
Sneak, sneak, boost.
Let's see. Stalkers are in position.
Yep. Hey, look.
Hey, it's the Ewoks.
Ah,
They're
what a
just
good
so
time.
hidden.
They always are. Yeah, can barely see them from this angle, and you can't zoom in on them because we're in a corner.
Yeah.
They are always partying, man. Never involved in the Protoss and Terran shenanigans going on the map.
Nope. They are happy and living their best life.
Yeah.
I'm
Cooking some
surprised
food, singing
that
some songs.
We haven't got Ewoks in Disney Star Wars IP yet, have we?
Because they were generally received pretty poorly in Return of the Jedi.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, people didn't like them very much. Kids did, obviously, but the rest of the fandom was like, what are these teddy bears doing? Why
Yeah,
are
I
they killing
bet.
chicken walkers? So for anyone that's like, there was never any controversy in the original Star Wars, there definitely was.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, I'm surprised though. Like, that is something that could sell a lot of toys, I bet. So.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they'll
I'm
have
sure
like,
they've had discussions about it. I'm sure they've been like, look, can we like gently reintroduce the Ewoks into something?
I bet Grogu's gonna find a frickin' Ewok in like the next season of The Mandalorian or something.
You know what? I bet they showed up in some animated something at some point.
Yeah, I don't recall them in Clone Wars or Rebels, but that's just amazing, actually, if you think about it, because everything comes back in Star Wars at some point.
Totally.
Kira
Like-
using the healing zone.
Yeah. Does that heal shields? Aki's asking.
I don't know, to be honest. It should do.
John Solo says there was an Ewok animated series in the 80s. Yeah, that makes sense. But nothing more recent than that. Here, I'm up on the Wikipedia page.
Well, there was
Let's
also the
see.
Star Wars Christmas special around then, too, so.
They're in Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, they're so fun to play.
There you go.
Well, that
That's
was
about
they
it,
were
though.
in
They're
Battlefront like 2003, whatever. I don't know if they're in the new one. Probably.
They're in comic books, they're in graphic novels, they're in video games. But they haven't been in any of the TV shows or movies that have come out in the last 25 years. Interesting, yeah.
It's going to happen. Okay, Kier is doing what a Terran does when the Terran is down 0-3. Enough of the talk about the Ewoks.
Fun as that is.
As fun as that is, Kier is in a murdering mood. He's got a nice supply lead. herO is desperately lacking AoE, so these SCVs are actually going to do phenomenal as far as helping buffer against all these zealots. And their positioning is actually pretty good right now. Anti-armor missile goes down on the Stalkers. Tank siege is up. Bio is stimming. herO knows how serious this is, so he's pulling all his probes into this fight. Auto turrets get tossed on down as it is all or nothing for the Terran, and I'm not sure there's enough as the Zealots are just closing the gap. Probes are doing a beautiful job helping buffer. 26 SCVs dead for 15 probes. There is still a lot of Terran bio moving forward, though. A big Zealot warping can change things for herO.
Hallucinated Colossus putting some work in there. Shield Battery healing up. Disruptor providing that splash damage. And I don't know, man. The longer these kind of games go on, the worse they are. Blinking on top of it. These guys got anti-armored missiled. It wore off, and they're still alive. That's how impressive these Stalkers have been in this battle.
Yeah, herO misses, like, doesn't have a big follow-up warp-in going on right now. He warps in 3 sentries, so maybe he was short on cash after losing so many probes. Kier is microing and can continue to micro with these Marines and Marauders. 3 force fields to buy time for herO. But Kier is also juggling units with these medivacs, doing a great job of that. A Colossus is about to pop out, so Kier needs to make his play sooner rather than later. There's the Colossus that can change things. Kier wants to get it, but there's Zealots, there's Stalkers still present. A Widowmine's going to run up and burrow on the front. However, I think Kier did just lose the last of his units.
Yeah, he's got a couple dudes rallying up here, but one at a time is not going to do it. And GG, he gave it his best shot, but falls in game 4 after the all-in. herO goes 4-0 to win the series.
Yeah.
At a full sweep. Well done, herO. Again, Protoss players everywhere are like, okay, so this matchup's not that bad after all, is it?
Just play like herO, guys.
Just play like herO, guys.
Yep.
Oof.
Really, really well done by the Protoss player. The favorite coming in, and he won it. I do hope we can get like some really good players for the next tournament. Maybe like Rogue and herO would be fun to have, because I'd love to see them play. Maybe get SOS if he's willing to play in the next one. And the best way you guys can get notified when we're doing a new one of those is to follow either Falcon or myself on Twitter, on YouTube, or you can follow the channel here too. We also make community posts on here.
Yep.
Yes. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for being here. A lot of fun. These are always great. You guys make it a lot of fun too. And we will see you probably in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll be back in roughly 2 weeks. Keep an eye out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the channel if you haven't already. Just do that. Click thumbs up on the stream, like it before you go. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.